President Brian. Imagine a world in which your employees and your customers would proudly wear your company's logo. RKL, Stock and Leader, WellSpan. Well, that happens every day in York County. No doubt Harley-Davidson is a powerful brand, and that power is evident in the significant economic impact that Harley generates in our community. In addition to manufacturing employment, each year Harley's factory tour attracts thousands of visitors, some with ink and some without on their skin, from across the globe to York County. Today's speaker is responsible for the factory tour and employee store operations for Harley-Davidson Motor Company. Amy Warner manages 3 tour centers and 6 employee stores at various U.S. locations. I had the pleasure of working with Amy during her 16 years at Harley. She is currently serving her 2nd tour of duty on the board of the York County Convention Visitors Bureau. She earned a master's degree in project management from Penn State and is a certified project management professional. In addition to her national responsibilities with Harley, Amy serves as an instructor for Georgetown University for their project management certificate program. Amy is a native of Hanover, where she lives with her husband Jeff. They have one daughter, Victoria, who's currently attending the Wharton School of Business at UPenn. Yeah, Amy didn't put that in her bio, by the way. I knew that, and I wanted to. I just think that's impressive. So before Wharton, their daughter graduated from DeLone Catholic. Amy is someone who values education for herself, for her daughter, and for our community. Amy currently serves as president of the DeLone Catholic High School Board of Education. And also, Amy reminded me that she was a longtime Kiwanis in Hanover. She was actually the first female president and the first pregnant president of the Hanover Kiwanis. So, and I know a lot about Amy. I don't know about skin ink. I don't know about tattoos, but I know she can definitely wear leather and Levi's to work. So please give a warm Rotary welcome to Amy Warner.
It's so good to be here. Okay, real quick, my funny story about the Kiwanis Club of Hanover. When I was president, one of our long-term members passed away, and the funeral director called me and said that he had wanted me to be a pallbearer at his funeral. And I said, well, you know I'm 7 months pregnant, Eric Kenworthy, and so I went out and bought a big black dress and walked in front of the casket, and my husband was so worried that I was going to fall on the that day. So that was my Kiwanis president story. I am so happy to be here today and talk to you a little bit about Harley-Davidson factory tours and how we bring visitors from all around the world to York County. But first, I wanted to tell you just a little bit about me and Harley-Davidson. So as Ann mentioned, I've worked for the company for almost 17 years. And many people say, why did you want to work at Harley-Davidson? At the time, I was working for 2 radio stations based out of Hanover, and we sponsored the Women's Show, which is an event in York County, and every year Harley-Davidson had a very large presence there, and I got to know some of the employees that worked there. And I was amazed with the passion that these people had that were making motorcycles to be shipped all around the world. And I said, you know what, I want to work there. So I applied for a job, and it took several months. And I finally found the perfect position. And I started out by working just managing the York Tour Center and the York Employee Store. And then eventually took on more responsibility throughout our company. So I love my job. I love meeting people from all around the world. I could tell you stories for hours of customers from all walks of life that are Harley-Davidson enthusiasts. And what I love most about my job is I view myself as a small owner. I'm running a small business within the confines of a very large company. So I'm responsible for marketing, for retail, for operations, finance, HR, and if the restrooms aren't functioning properly, I'm right in there too. So I wear many hats, and that's what I like the most about my position. I also want to say thank you to the Rotary Club for supporting education, because my daughter benefits from the loan program that you have for students and has for 3 years now. So thank you to your club. She also receives scholarships from the Hanover Rotary Club as well, and has been very helpful in paying for her education. So before I talk about factory tours specifically, I feel like I should set the stage. And this slide, there's a lot of writing on it. Obviously, you can't read it all. But this is what we call Harley-Davidson's strategy on a page, or the one-pager. And so the purpose of the company is on the bottom. It's we fulfill dreams of personal freedom. And right now, our company is very highly focused on building the next generation of Harley-Davidson riders globally. And so we have 5 main objectives that are across the top of the page. We want to generate 2 million new riders. We want to grow our international business to 50%. We will launch 100 new motorcycles, high impact, grow to the top 25% financially, and then make sure that we are environmentally sustaining. And then in the last couple of weeks, we launched what's called More Roads to Harley-Davidson, where we are focused on new products, broader access, and stronger dealers. And the reason I mention this is that everything that we do at Harley-Davidson needs to fall in line and align very closely with this strategy. It's a single focus for every employee of our company. And so when it comes to factory tours, we are very much aligned with building new riders, generating and attracting new customers to our brand. And so speaking of the brand, we just recently, in fact just days ago, celebrated a monumental birthday for Harley-Davidson. It was our 115th anniversary. That celebration was held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I had the benefit of working the event from Wednesday through Sunday, and it was amazing to me to see riders coming from all over the world to partake in the celebration. I met a gentleman at the Harley-Davidson Museum from Mexico who told me, he spoke very little English, but told me he had waited 15 years to come to this celebration. He was a lifetime HOG member. He had his vest with all the pins, and he pointed to his arm to show me the goosebumps that he had because he was so overwhelmed to be at the home of Harley-Davidson for this celebration. And so Harley-Davidson is very focused on being customer-led, and now more than ever we're diversifying our customer base within the U.S. and also expanding our reach outside the U.S. So how did factory tours begin? So this is actually an article from the Enthusiast magazine from February of 1920, if you can believe that. And it references the beginning of our factory tours at Harley-Davidson. And there's a sentence in it that reads, Harley-Davidson Motor Company was the host to so many guests that a special guide was appointed to conduct the visitors through the factory. And so that was in 1919. So if you're doing your math, that means next year we will be celebrating 100 years of factory tours for Harley-Davidson Motor Company, which is pretty exciting. You've heard it here first. And there were more articles about who came and visited and when. And so factory tours really resulted from people showing up at our factory and wanting to see where their motorcycle was made and how it was made. And so it's really great to be a part of this long-standing tradition for the company of providing factory tours to our guests. Currently in York, we have a year-round staff of between 15 and 20 individuals, both tour guides and retail staff. We add some seasonal staff in the summer and spring and fall as well. And so the purpose of factory tours is to deliver an authentic, engaging Harley-Davidson experience that supports the company's close to the customer philosophy and perpetuates the heritage, tradition, and mystique behind the Harley-Davidson brand. So factory tours are part of the marketing department, and so I'm not an employee of the York plant per se, although I'm based here and I live in Pennsylvania. We are in the customer creation team. We focus on providing customer experiences that are trusted, personalized, and social for all of our guests. The strategies for factory tours include delivering a tour experience consistent with the brand, attracting new customers and enhancing the ownership experience of existing customers, providing a great destination and reasons to ride, and becoming financially self-sustaining so that we can say that we provide this great marketing opportunity for the company, but we don't cost the company any money. So here are the experiences we provide. Right now we offer 2 different factory tour experiences. The Steel Toe Tour is a premium tour package. It retails for $38. It's smaller groups, a group of 8 or less. It's a 2-hour experience, and it has several amenities like a high visibility vest and a limited edition pin, and you have your photo taken in the factory. Our Classic Tour is free for walk-ins of 9 people or less, and there's a fee for groups of 10 or more. It's a 1-hour experience and includes a coupon for all of the individuals that participate in the group tour. We also, in our tour center, have exhibits that walk through the manufacturing and assembly processes of the York factory. And right now we have brand new 2019 production motorcycles for you to come in, sit on, try out, and have your photo taken. And I think that's the most popular area of our tour center. And it's always fun to see people who have never been on a motorcycle hop on a vehicle and have their selfies taken for social media. What makes our tour really cool is that it's right on the factory and up close and personal. Right now in York, we manufacture fuel tanks, frames, and fenders, which are 3 major components of the motorcycle. We paint them and we assemble vehicles. We're currently assembling the touring family of motorcycle, our CVO, which are custom vehicle operations, and our trike or 3-wheel models. We're in the process of transitioning the Softail model family from our Kansas City facility to York, and that process is about halfway complete. But by next year, we'll also be building street and Sportster families. And later next year, we will be making a brand new electric vehicle in York County, Pennsylvania, which is very exciting. So all of this means really great things for factory tours and for my world, because there's only opportunity for us to be able to showcase what we do in York County to people from all around the world. So we are looking at building new experiences for our customers. We just recently launched in our powertrain facility in Wisconsin an Engines 101 class where people learn how the Milwaukee 8 engine is assembled, and it's an interactive classroom, and we want to bring that experience to the York Tour Center. And my goal before I retire from Harley-Davidson is to be able to allow people to actually come and see their motorcycle being made from start to finish. So that's in the pipeline as well. We've received many honors for our factory tour, and like I said, our factory tour isn't in a cart, it's not behind glass. You walk right on the factory and are very close to production. And for our customers, it's a very personal experience to see where their baby was born. Many of them come with the What's the Traveler and different documents, and they want employees to autograph them. And so we've received a lot of recognition over the years from CNN, Popular Mechanics, Travel and Leisure, USA Today, many organizations for our factory tour, and we're really proud to be able to highlight York County factory tours and our tour for Harley-Davidson. So who visits our plant? This is a look at the U.S. And it's a little bit challenging to see, I think, with the lighting, but you can see the darker states are the top 10 visits, so they include mostly regional, but then California and Florida. We have about 30,000 visitors per year. This map shows everyone that has been entered from our lead generation system that we utilize when our guests fill out a registration card, and that goes into our lead generation system. So we pull demographic data from those cards. And so this is data from all of 2017 and so far this year. And you can see we hit every state quite frequently. And from a global perspective, all of the highlights in orange are countries that are represented from our guests that tour the factory. And so there's very few that are not represented in our factory tour base. Our top 3 countries, surprisingly our top country is Israel. So we have the most visitors from Israel, and then Canada and Germany. And international guests account for 13% of our annual guests. Here's a little bit about who visits our factory. 64% of our factory tour guests are male. 24% are either active military or a veteran. 44% have a motorcycle license, but only 22% are Harley-Davidson owners. So you can see it's a great marketing opportunity for us because we have a lot of people coming in who have a motorcycle license who do not own a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And then because we are able to track our guests, we know that 2% of our factory tour guests purchase a vehicle after 12 months after taking their factory tour. So it's a great metric that we look at to show that we are providing value to the company. Our primary target audience includes the motorcycle license holders and Harley-Davidson owners, but secondary are those visiting the area and also our outreach segments. And at the end of the day, we can expose the brand to so many people, and even those who will never purchase a Harley-Davidson motorcycle hopefully leave with a great sense of our company, our brand, our employees, and the great products that we make. And then finally, we have a customer survey that we email to everyone who provides their email address, but we also closely monitor social media. And so I've included some highlights from TripAdvisor, from Yelp, from Google, and we share this with our factory tour team, our tour guides, and even when it's not so positive, of course all the ones up there are really great, but every now and then we have a not so great comment. One of the challenges that we have is that during the summer months when we are most busy, we modify our tours because we're making new product and no one can see it until we share it with our dealer network. And so for about 7 weeks in the summer, we only are able to tour the manufacturing areas and not the assembly line. And most people say that the assembly line is the show. So there are some people who leave who are disappointed because they didn't get to see everything on the factory tour. But we monitor our feedback and share that with our team so that we can learn and grow and improve our factory tour experience. And so that is it. So I just want to leave with a couple thoughts. Again, I love working for Harley-Davidson and being able to provide this factory tour experience that is bringing people from all around the globe to York County, to my hometown, to visit. As I mentioned, this past week, I was in Milwaukee. The couple that are down here in the quarter, I met from France. And you can't see that, but they had a patch made because they're expecting a baby, and it had the 115th logo of the company with a stork on there. And they had their leather vests signed by all the members of the Davidson family that are still involved with the business. I'm happy to say one of the Davidsons is actually our VP of my area, so I work very closely, and they're just lovely people. And again, this is just an example of the kind of excitement and enthusiasm that people have when they are visiting from outside the country or or just even outside of the state coming to Pennsylvania to see our factory tour. But we are a global company. We bring guests from around the world, and we hope that if you have not taken a factory tour that you will do so in the very near future. I want to say on your table I have our rack card that has information about our factory tours, and also a little gift for each one of you is a lens cloth for you to take with you. And I thank you very much, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Yes, sir?
What percentage of the Harley is robotically assembled? Percentage?
That's a tough number to, the question is what's the percentage of the Harley-Davidson that is made robotically. There's a lot of robotics utilized in the making of fuel tanks, fenders, and frames. We have weld cells, robotic lasers, so forth, in those fabrication areas, but from the assembly side, it's all done by hand. Yes?
You mentioned an electric car next year.
Yes.
Is it going to have any approach to a Harley sound or any kind of a Harley?
We are assured they are working on the sound. I have not heard it. We did have a prototype that was out, I think 3 years ago that we took around the country, but they've made significant changes to that vehicle, so I have not heard it yet. But they are definitely they're working on that, and that's in regards to the live wire, which is our electric vehicle. Yes, sir.
Amy, thank you for being here.
Thank
Do
you.
you and know what the economic impact is of those 30,000 visitors a year to York County?
That's a good question. Economic impact of our 30,000 visitors.
At the same time, are they coming specifically, this is a destination point, and then moving on, or are they coming here and touring the factory and then looking at other places in New York?
They're doing both. So we work with guests all the time who are coming in specifically to come to the factory and take a tour. Last year, I worked for months with a woman whose husband was turning 50, and for his 50th birthday, they were coming in from North Carolina, and she wanted to do the steel toe tour, and so I had a big sign made, and we made a kind of big splash for him as a surprise. And so we hear stories like that all the time of people who are making trips specifically to incorporate maybe, or they might be on their way to an event or a riding event in New York, or one of the busiest days of the year is the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, because people are heading to DC for the Rolling Thunder event, so we're very busy on days like that. And then we also have people who are visiting York County and stop in, and people who participate in other activities. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention is that we do have a strong partnership with the York County Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they actually have a Visitors Information Center right in our lobby, and they're able to provide services to our visitors to help them find hotels, other destinations, places to eat, and so forth. So that is staffed 7 days a week, and so there's a great link between once they're here, having them learn more about the area. And anything? Okay.
Do you know what the economic impact is, how much money they bring into the county?
I do not. Yes?
You mentioned the electric motorcycle. Do you know if it's going to be quiet?
That's what the gentleman here asked about the sound. It will have sound. I have not heard it, but I've been assured that it's brand appropriate. Yes.
Why no weekend hours?
We used to provide factory tours on the weekends, on Saturdays in the summer months, and we found that attendance just fell off after a few years, and so we did one Saturday a month, and again we weren't getting the kind of volume in to support, and we don't have production on Saturdays, and so although we give tours when there are no production days during the week, and try to at least provide an experience to our guests then, we also realize that people really love to see the factory when it's working. Back.
Does the York location have programs to help educate people who are interested in learning how to ride?
Our Riding Academy is a program that is offered through local dealerships. So Harley-Davidson dealerships offer rider training, and so we have a program that is run through the local dealers. Yes, in the back. We have assembly plants in India, Brazil, and we are opening a new one in Thailand. We do not offer factory tours. I've had some conversations about that, but have not yet been asked to start up tours at those locations. It's a good question. And in the way back.
What's the average price?
Average price is in the $20,000 mark for a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And we have really all price ranges from around 10 to 30. Yes, one more question.
Have you noticed any effect on visitor enthusiasm or interest in the brand as a consequence of the tariffs and the discussions about tariffs and the political crosswinds following the tariffs, specifically with respect to Harley and the brand?
Obviously, there has been a lot going on in the news about our company, probably more than we would like. I have not seen any uptick or downswing either way in our factory tour volume. You know, our guests and customers ask questions. We try to clarify information so that the right information is communicated to our customers, but I have not seen an impact on our factory tours. Any other questions? Do I see a hand somewhere? Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you might have answered this a little bit. You mentioned the Friday before Memorial Day, but what's your busiest time of the year?
It definitely is the summer months, but like I said, we have modified tours from late June through mid-August. And so it becomes, there's some big days like that. Also in the summer, if it's raining and people are in the area and can't go to outdoor events, we get very busy. We get fairly busy when the street rods are in town. And if there are car shows in Carlisle, so people that, you know, if there's a Corvette show, it's a similar type of customer to ours, and so we'll get higher volume based on events more so than specific times of year. We have some of our tour days that are sold out. We sell our steel toe tour tickets online, and you know, months before we might be sold out, and we try to add as many as we can, but we have limitations just inherent with the factory of getting a certain amount of people through the factory. I always joke with the operations guys, they're worried about getting materials flow through the factory, and I'm worried about the people getting through safely. Okay, thank you very much.